All right. So today's presentation is on Quillbot AI. Next slide. I'm Jeffrey Fonseca. This is my first time, so you know. Um, Vince, next slide, please. We'll cover what is Quillbot AI, how you can get to it and use it, and how it's useful to you in your life. Next slide. Um, Quillbot is a kind of writing assistant to make your writing better. It can do things like paraphrase sentences you've written and update your vocabulary or check your grammar, and it's a really useful tool. Next slide. You don't have to use the feedback, but it's more of a suggestion, but it's very useful. Personally, I use AI-powered grammar checkers a lot because they can improve your writing and help with it. Um, it's only available in English, but I'm sure other languages will be added shortly for those of you who want other languages in this tool. Next slide. You can access it by going to quillbot.com. For your convenience, I put a link to the site in the meeting chat. So if you do want to follow along, that is an option since we're going to be going through some of the ways you can use this tool specifically from the website. For the paraphrase tool, which is the default that will pop up when you go to quillbot.com, you can access it just by typing some stuff in and then clicking paraphrase, and then it will reword what you write to maybe diversify your writing style or shorten it or whatnot. Next slide. Um, It'll take a few seconds, but once it's done, the completed text will appear on the right side where you can then copy it or use it for what you want in your writings. Next slide. There's also a button, copy all, in the very, very bottom right. It's not labeled, but if you see in the bottom right of the slide, those two rectangles where it looks like it's like one rectangle with a little line going 90 degrees right on top of it. That's the copy all button. If you click that button, it will copy all the text so that way you can easily paste it in any other application. Next slide. So one of the benefits of using tools like Quillbot is that you can adjust the way they paraphrase your text. So here there's a few options. It's highlighted in red on top of this slide, but it looks like there's standard, fluency, creative, formal, shorten, and expand. And they are pretty self-explanatory with things like creative, maybe using more advanced vocabulary or being for creative writing, shorten being closer to proper paraphrasing, where it shortens text, and expand being maybe using vocabulary that makes your text longer instead. Next. So one of the settings is the word flipper. The word flipper is how many words are going to be replaced. Maybe you want to maintain some of your own original writing style, so this can control that. One issue I found with AI-powered paraphrasing tools is that a lot of times they'll completely rip out your writing style, and then you won't have any of that kind of flair you apply, especially if you're doing something like creative writing. And with this, you can keep your own writing style, but also have things like grammar checking or a more diverse writing style if you want. Next slide. If you want to make changes to your paraphrase text, you can simply edit it in the right section. The colors help you see what was changed and what wasn't changed. After you make your change, you can still click in the very bottom right of the section the copy all button to copy the changed stuff. Next. You can also force Quillbot to regenerate what it wrote if you didn't like what it wrote. If you click rephrase, then it will go again and it will take a few seconds to generate, and then it'll give you something else. And you can do this multiple times before finding something you like. Maybe Quillbot gave you something that was close but not quite on the mark, and then that's where the rephrase button comes in handy. Next. Um, Quillbot for students, I'm a student in college, and I've stated multiple times, but AI writing tools are very, very useful because of the way they can do things like rephrase, paraphrase, and grammar checking. In addition to this, it's trusted by that list of universities you see on the right. Some of those are very prestigious. Next slide. It has lots of tools. The grammar checker and the paraphraser are separate tools on the very left bar in the image. They're just icons right now, but if you go to the website, they'll be expanded so you can click on them and see what they are. Next slide. And then these are resources to explore. The official Quillbot website will take you straight to the section where you can write stuff and press the button to paraphrase it. The Quillbot Help Center includes documentation and frequently asked questions, FAQs, about using the tool good. And so like if you maybe have a question or something, then you can search on there. And then they also have a YouTube channel where they have video tutorials of how to use this tool. Next slide. Thank you for listening.